still starting, and we are live. So, I haven't done a podcast in so long that I actually forgot the name of the podcast, which I just remembered. It's the Cosmic
Cosmic
Theater.
Theater.
That's right,
Yeah.
it's the Cosmic Theater. And I've had my brother Gail on the podcast before, and he really wanted to do another one because the first time he was driving a car and he was very distracted. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he was very distracted. So now he's in his room and it's much more chill. And we've had numerous times we've talked since then on Skype because Gail is Patreon. He's one of our Patreon members and he supports very generously. So Gail, my brother, thank you for your support. You clearly see something in me, so you're willing to support and support generously. So
I'm glad to be here, man. This is awesome.
yeah, me too. I really am. I really am. So what else? Is there anything else? Yeah, I want to give a shout out to all the Patreons. We've had several new family members lately. If you would like to support us, because I don't do this full time, but I believe I will be able to do this full time at some point. Simply go to the description, and you could support with as little as $2 a month. So, my brother Gail, it's been 2 or 3 weeks since we talked.
Yes.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
you asked me a question, and I want to go ahead and answer. You said, "How was the fasting?"
Yeah. How's the last time we talked? You were talking about you were on a fasting, or last week you were on a
Right.
fast.
Last week we were supposed to do the podcast last Friday,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, but we didn't do it. Sorry, give me a second here. Let's see. Ooh. Because usually what happens is it'll switch, right? Like you know what I mean? It'll switch,
Yeah.
but it's not doing it this time. Like usually when I did the podcast before, uh, what Google Hangout would
Like
do
whenever
is,
I'm talking to. Okay.
yeah, and I want to make sure. I mean, it is recording. I just don't know if it's doing that per se. So you know what? It's recording anyway. We're gonna roll with it. However it comes out, it comes out. Okay.
All right. All right.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
recording. As
good.
long as it's recording, it's gonna be uploaded to YouTube, and it's all good. So the fasting. So last time we were supposed to do the podcast last Friday, but I told you I had just started a period of fasting and I'd like to go a little bit inwards. And I'm glad I did that because I'm much more available for you in this podcast. And at that time, I really wanted to just go in. I didn't want to talk to anybody and I just wanted to
Mm.
really go in. So effectively, I've switched over to eating every other day.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll explain it to you and to all the listeners. So very, very simple, just right off the bat. You have three phases of eating. You have the actual eating, and then you have the assimilation of the food. So whatever nutrients your body breaks down the food, takes whatever nutrients it needs, minerals, vitamins, whatever, energy source, fuel source. And then there is the last part, the elimination part. Okay? And this is the part no one talks about. The elimination part is the elimination of the waste through your
Oh.
kidneys, through your urine, through your defecation, your from your asshole. If anybody is not familiar with the word defecation, just look up your
Right.
asshole somewhere. You know, it's somewhere down there.
All right.
And and that's the
Man.
waste byproducts of food. So the transit time of eating something is the time it takes from mouth to anus. Okay, so the transit time on average, and there is a study here, and I could probably, I'm not a big fan of studies just because this is all common sense, but if there's a study for it, why not? Here, so look up transit time for digestion. And I think the average was about uh, between 30, let's see, between 30 and 40 hours, I believe. Okay, so
Oh.
yeah, so here, food's transit time is a key factor in digestive health. This is from Technical University of Denmark. I just want to get the actual The actual figure, because I know it's anywhere between 30 and 40 hours is on average. So here, maybe here. Okay, I think this one has it.
Digestion, how long it takes.
Yeah, so the average is 40 hours.
Okay.
Okay, 40 hours. It's less for men, more for women. But on average, I think for men it's 33 hours. For women, it's 40 something, 43 or 44. Anyway, it ends up averaging 40 hours. So that means if you're eating every day, you're backing up your colon. You're backing up your large intestines. And this is why I guarantee you, every single listener and watcher, Gail, probably you too, you've got some discomforts in this area, don't you? Like, yeah, everybody does. Everybody does, 100%.
That's
Because
interesting.
who eats every other day? Barely anyone. This is, unless you're a yogi or you know about this stuff, or no one. We're programmed to eat every day, and I guarantee every single listener here, guarantee you.
I guess that makes sense because, like, back then there wasn't as much food available as there was today. So these people back then, they wouldn't have much to eat, but maybe they didn't feel this way because they didn't have to eat every day.
Exactly. You hit it on the nail, brother. That's what it is. People did not have as much food. It's not like they had to think about this. They simply didn't eat for 2, 3, 4 days at a time. That was a normal thing.
Well, let me ask you this: where does this come in for, like, fitness, for example?
Okay. So basically, we'll talk a little bit about the fitness part. So first of all, what the body needs, it needs a minimum 30 hours to fully process the food. Okay, that's a minimum, and I'm taking it as if you eat only fruits, which is the easiest foods to digest. Okay, minimum 24 hours. Minimum. That's if you're only eating fruits, and even then, I would say 30 hours minimum, honestly, for everything to pass through the system. Okay. Now, if you're eating meat, if you're eating heavier foods, that takes 40, 50, 60 hours even, sometimes up to 70 if you're eating really heavy meats, to pass through the system fully. So then it seems to me that it only makes sense for a human being. Like, from where I'm standing and I'm trying to explain it, it doesn't make sense for human beings to eat every day. Just based on this knowledge alone, it does not make sense. So if we've all, I've just gotten into fasting recently. My whole life, I'm almost 28 years old. I've been eating every day. And it's not that I've been eating ideal my whole life. I've only started eating really, really healthy last 2 years. I'm still having issues. I switched to fully fruits, much better digestion, much better energy. Still, there is a backing up in my colon, just like I'm sure every single listener feels the discomfort, the ickiness, the grumbling, the noises in the intestines. That's a backed up intestines. Everybody almost listening to this, because everybody's been eating their whole lives every day, they have backed up colon, backed up intestines as a result of eating every single day, which is completely unnatural for the human digestive machinery. Okay? So on that alone, from where I'm standing, I like to look at something. If it makes sense to me and I see, and then I experience it for myself, like I've been eating every other day, my digestion is infinitely better, a lot less discomforts. Some old nasty stuff that's been backed up is coming out now. Whenever I have a bowel movement, okay, I'm not going to be too graphic with it. You start to do your own experimentation with this and you'll see energy levels much higher. Now, you asked, where does fitness come into play, right? So, there is this idea of fasting. It's in every ancient culture, and one of the cultures, one of the people that knew about this, they called it bigu in China, in ancient China. Bigu.
It also reminds me of Ramadan, right? Where people are
Yeah.
fasting in that culture.
Yeah. So in Ramadan, people fast. They eat. They're supposed to eat once a day, but anyway, they mess it up. But it's fasting. You eat once a day, and not once, but from sunrise to sunset. Ideally, you only want to be eating once a day. So fasting is everywhere. Now in ancient China, they had a thing for it called bigu. Bigu means to be sustained without food. I talk about breatharianism being sustained off prana. Essentially, you could have all the energy you need. Nobody needs food here, by the way. I'm here to break it to you. Nobody needs it. We eat for emotions. We eat for pleasurable sensations of the taste buds. We don't need it. All the ancients knew about this. We do not need food. I ate today because I wanted to eat, because I wanted the emotional joy of eating. I did not need food. I'm doing eating every other day. I did not need food. I was so energetic. I'm
Well,
still
what about the
energetic.
nutrients? What about the
Mhm.
nutrients? Like, what about the nutrients that come from like?
So let me explain. Let me explain. So I learned this yesterday from I watched an ancient master, Chinese master, talk about this. Your liver can synthesize fat. So you do not need anything external. You do not need fat source. Your liver will make it. Your liver inside, if fat cells are needed, it will synthesize it. It will make it. Okay? Now, carbohydrates. What are carbohydrates made of? They're made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. All elements found in the air. And if you slow down your breathing and you meditate and you do some visualizations, which I learned from the ancient Chinese master that I watched yesterday, you could fill up you could take these elements deliberately from the air. You have to breathe through your nose, out through your nose, and very slow. You could take them in deliberately. Your body will do the rest of the work. It will take in the carbon, the hydrogen, the oxygen, and it will synthesize it into carbohydrates, what we call carbohydrates. Okay? So there's your carbohydrates, there is there's your fat. Now, what about the protein? To maintain muscle mass, if you want to build muscle, well, there's a bacteria in your gut, and this bacteria can take in nitrogen from the air, which is 78% nitrogen. Nitrogen is what's needed, what amino acids are made of, essentially. Okay, so you take in the nitrogen from the air, the bacteria inside in your gut will do the rest. It will take care of your amino acid needs. Okay, so you can get it all through the air. Liver will do the work, intestines will do the work. The work, your body is a miraculous, miraculous, miraculous machine. That should be obvious by the fact that when you sleep, you wake up and you heal. What the hell happened? Well, you're breathing. You just relaxed yourself so much in sleep. You're breathing air, and all that is going in. Your body's doing all the work. Who's building muscle? You think eating protein is building muscle? Your body's building the muscle. Your body knows how to build a muscle. It knows how to do anything. So we don't need food, but we won't know this unless we fast. Because if your body is dysfunctional, your intestines are dysfunctional, you're breathing so quickly, you're breathing so erratic, and one of the things that makes us breathe so much is food. I measure my heart rate. I have an app here. I measure my heart rate. Today, I recorded before eating, I recorded 43. 43. Yeah, because I haven't ate for like 40 hours. I meditate, I'm relaxed. 43 beats per minute. And I'm doing that consistently now, okay? 43. That's like a super, super elite athlete. And I'm barely exercising these days because I don't need to. I just do a little bit of work, a little bit of maintenance. That's it. I got the muscles, I built them, I just do maintenance. That's it. So then, as it turns out, we're under an illusion that we need food. Our bodies do everything, but because we eat so much, our heart's always beating to digest the food. It's never at rest.
You know, I'm not trying to make any fun of anybody, but it reminds me, you know, in those movies you see like the fat guys and like while they're eating food, breathing sporadically, like while they're eating food. Like this reminds me of that.
Well, I just ate a big meal. I broke my fast. I ate a big meal. It was delicious. And then I measure my heart rate, and it's up to 70. You know, 70 something, right? Yeah, because I just ate a lot, so the body's sort of, you know, and you know, so man, it's mind blowing because the energy and the clarity you feel. I mean, I have been an absolute energy machine throughout the whole day. I can't stop. I cannot stop. I just the whole day I'm going, I'm lit. I made like 3 videos earlier on. I walked for like 2 hours. I went and got food. I did a little bit of push-ups. It's unbelievable energy. But in the initial phases of doing it, get ready to feel like a bag of shit. Okay? You're not gonna know anything that I just said. You're gonna be like, what the fuck? Well, I watched this guy Saeed. He's talking like, I'm feeling like shit. Let me go get a chunky bar. Let me go get a piece of fruit or whatever, because this clearly is full of shit. No, 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 no. You're gonna feel like a bag of shit in the beginning because there's so much toxicity inside your body, and you've been always stuffing it down with food. Uh, your body never had time to catch up. Now I have been preparing because I've been eating once a day now for a good 6, 7 months. So I'm giving my body a little bit of time to detox. Usually between hours 20 and 24, or at 18 and 23, your body starts to detoxify. So I've been giving my body the luxury of the 4 or 5 hours of detoxing because it took about 16 hours, 18 hours to digest the food, not to pass it through the whole way, but to digest it. And then 18 to 24, it begins to detox. Then I've been doing that, so I've been cleaning it up. But the first few times I started to do the fast, I felt like a bag of shit because there were some toxins my body could never get to them. Okay, it just could never. But now I've taken the detox period from hour 16, which is usually when it starts, depending on how much you ate last night and etc. etc. I've taken it from a span of 4 or 5 hours to now 30 hours because I'm eating once every 2 days. And so you do that, you start off, you eat every other day the first time, the second time, the third time. Hell, get ready for a week of hell. Then it starts to get better. You start to feel better. It becomes a joy. And then you come to a point where, like today, I'm eating for pleasure here. I don't need this food. I don't need this food, and I know very well that I'm eating it for pleasure here, and I ate it for pleasure. So I ate the foods that I wanted to eat. I ate like dried figs because I love dried figs. I ate melons. I ate mangoes, like stuff that I really want to eat. Because I know this is a pleasure.
Mango's not nice right now.
And you know what happens when you get into those levels and you shift your consciousness higher? It's funny. I didn't want to eat anything else but fruits. Like I didn't. Like I went to the market and I'm like, let me observe everything here because you're in a higher consciousness. Your consciousness is elevated, and it's like I just want to eat fruits. This is what's giving me pleasure right now. I don't want anything else. So it's funny because as you progress into this work, even the types of foods you become attracted to start to change progressively, depending on where you are. Not gonna happen for everybody, but even the types of foods that give you just pure pleasure, because you might think, I'm gonna eat for pleasure, so I'm gonna go eat chocolates and I'm gonna go eat ice cream. No, 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 no. When your body's clean enough, you know who's craving these foods, right? We develop parasites, and these parasites have children of their own.
Yes.
They're craving this food because they got children to feed.
How do you get rid of these? So how do you get rid of these parasites? Use just fasting, right?
Fast. That's the solution. Forget about everything else. That's the solution. Fasting. You get rid of the parasites and all these leeches and their children that want that just sweet sugar, like in refined form. You're not gonna crave these foods anymore. You're not gonna crave them.
So you see, okay. Well, I mean, what are you saying that? So are you saying that? Let's say I'm just another person. I should get rid of like my groceries or what?
Well, no, I would just start off progressively. So I would start off by, first of all, eating twice a day.
Okay.
Do that for a couple of months, get adjusted to that, and then go to the next level, which is eating once a day, and hang out there for a while, adjust yourself there. It takes time. It took me about 6 months to stabilize that form. It's like we're going Super Saiyan here, we're ascending, right? When you go to first Super Saiyan, it took Goku a long time just to get there, and it took him even not much longer just to stabilize it, because first it would drain his energy. And it took a lot. It's exactly the same, actually. It took a lot of time for him to stabilize it. And he would turn into a Super Saiyan, and he would get tired quickly. Eventually, it's a second nature thing. Then he goes ascended. Same thing. Ascended takes a lot of time, energy from him until he stabilizes it. Now, Super Saiyan God, I'm watching the English dub. So Super Saiyan God still drains a lot of his energy, but I know he's gonna learn how to stabilize it eventually and go on to the next one if he hasn't already done that. And in the same way, you go to the whatever level you're at, stabilize yourself there. It'll take you however long it takes you. Once you go once a day, we're talking now. Now we actually begin. Now we're into the Super Saiyan territory. Okay,
Does it matter the amount of calories you're eating for each of these meals or not?
that's all bullshit. That's all bullshit. I ate today. I did not count any calories. I ate for pleasure. I might have consumed 1,500 to 2,000 calories. Who knows? Maybe no more because I ate a lot of dried figs. That doesn't matter. That
So
doesn't matter.
are you saying that so some of these bodybuilders, they don't really need food to bulk up?
They don't. But the thing is, it's so ingrained in them that they need it. It's because now they believe they need it. So if they get off the protein, they'll be like, holy shit, I'm gonna lose my muscles. Fear, they will lose it because now you're in a fear vibration. Okay, I'm not a bodybuilder, but I've got decent amount of muscles here. Okay, and if nobody wants to believe, I'm gonna take off my shirt. Okay, because I'm gonna have people here. Okay, I'm gonna take off. I'm not a bodybuilder, but I look decent enough. Okay, decent enough, right? I mean, it is a little bit hot, so I'll just stay in the Super Saiyan thing here. So I mean, I am, as you can see, pretty decent. That you wouldn't exactly call this a scrawny body exactly. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's good. It's athletic. I don't want to get any bigger. I mean, you can go check my fitness channel for some of you guys who have seen me there. I was bigger. I was, bulkier at those times. Now the thing with this, you won't believe how little I work out. I work out very little nowadays, like as far as muscles. But I've built a foundation now. How am I maintaining this muscle? With my mind. Because that's it. I told my body that this is now our form, and I mean, I barely work out. I just body weight stuff from time to time, not even every day. Okay, but I told my body this is what we're maintaining now. We're not. That's it. I told my body, look, this is it. This is where we're at.
How long have you been keeping this form?
This is, I would say, my stable form now. I don't think I'll lose it. I think, yeah, because I haven't. I do a few body weight exercises every few days. Very little, by the way, very little. Maybe now for a few months, I know this is my base form. I've gotten to a point where this is my base form, you see? And I told my body with my mind, look, I don't care if you don't eat for a bazillion days, you're keeping this muscle. You know how to do everything. You're keeping this muscle. You're keeping this form. And I'm pretty sure even as I advance into more advanced stages of the fasting, I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep this, because paradoxically what happens, the longer you go into a fast, the more your mental energy grows, and you start to realize you could do whatever you want, and you realize that your mind creates reality and it creates matter. So it's a paradox, because the longer you fast, the higher consciousness you're at, and you can just look at your body and be like, okay, all right, so we're gonna maintain this muscle. And then you do it because at that point your mind is so strong, because you're no longer preoccupied with the lower nature. You're in your higher nature, in your creative zone, and then you do whatever you want. Okay, like here's the other thing. I've got, the thing is, I'm a living proof of this for myself. I really don't care. It's for myself. Now I've got pretty big house. Okay, here, let's see if you guys can see, if you could see. Okay, I've got, yeah. Okay, okay. This, I have never worked it out a day in my life. Never. I don't even skip rope. I don't run. Nothing. Okay, I've done martial arts, soccer in the past, but I know people that do way more martial arts than me, way more soccer, and they don't have calves like this. Okay, so this was very revelation illuminating for me. Why? Genetics. This is my base form. You know, when you look at a lion and that's how a lion looks like, that's how Saeed looks like. And that to me is a proof that you are who you are, that you don't need anything external to you. That if I don't have to even think about these calves, they're just there. I've always had them. Before I always had them. Okay? Just like, look, genetically, let's be honest here, black people genetically, they're muscular, they're athletic, they're gifted. And I know quite a bit of black guys that never work out and they're fucking massive. They never work out. Okay? Well, what is that? It's just the way you are, it's the way you're manifesting. A horse has got big muscles. A horse doesn't work out. It's by virtue of just his genetics and his lifestyle. I'm sure there are animals that run more than horses, you know, like they run more, you know, but they don't have the muscles that a horse has. So then you just realize something. I am given whatever I'm given. Let's accept it here. And then I could, even with my mind, change anything if I want to change it. You see? So the body that I have right now, it's base form. I don't have to work out a day in my life. It's base form. Because it is base form, that's the build that I am. And also because now I use my mind to say, look, we're maintaining this base form. And that's it. The mind commands, the body follows. So I'm learning all these things from personal experience. Forget science, forget religion, forget all these things. Take the thing, apply it, and see from your experience. Just take a look at your own experience, and that'll be proof enough. Because you're only trying to prove this to yourself because you are suspecting that you are more than your physical body. Everybody has a suspicion. And so by doing these things, putting these things into practice, you realize that yes, I am more than my physical body. I'm a creative genius. I'm a creative consciousness. And the physical is a manifestation of my mind. Okay? And so I've been receiving a lot of revelations from this new lifestyle, this new way of living. You see? And I haven't consumed meat or protein-rich foods or anything like that for months on end now. And I've never felt better in my life because it's got nothing to do with it. What happens is this. You take in, so a bodybuilder takes in testosterone, right? Okay. To grow their muscles. What happens when they stop?
They lose it?
Not only that, but they develop testosterone deficiency. Their bodies was producing a certain amount of testosterone. They introduce an external testosterone source. Their body says, we're getting it externally. We don't need to produce it anymore. You take out the external, there's some problems until the body goes back to its natural production of testosterone again. Same thing. If you're training your body to take in nutrients such as protein, carbohydrates, fats from external, its innate abilities to synthesize these things just off of breathing, it's like we don't need it. This idiot is eating protein-rich foods every day. Why should we synthesize protein? This idiot's eating all this food, getting all this carbohydrates and fats from external source. Who gives a shit? But when you fast and you connect yourself to the elements and you slow your heart rate down and you meditate and you sun gaze and all that, and you have a low stress life, your body gains its natural abilities to produce energy from within. So it starts to produce the necessary protein for your demands. For your demands. So I know a breatharian. His name is Jericho Sunfire. You guys can look him up. He's a breatharian. No food. He's fucking jacked.
What?
He's jacked.
All right.
Look him up right now.
Let me
look him up right now.
All right. All right. What's his name?
He's another proof right there. Jericho.
Jared.
J-E-R.
Okay.
Okay, so Jericho, and then Sunfire.
Sunfire.
So go on images, look them up.
Breatharian personal.
Yeah, so you see his first picture?
A breatharian personal fitness guru. And is he the black guy with all the tattoos?
Yep, that's him.
Okay. Let me search. I'm not getting really good photos.
Well, there's the first one. I just typed in Jericho Sunfire images. There's the first one right away.
Oh man, he's got a lot of piercings.
Yeah, I mean he's in very good shape. He's no bodybuilder. He's in very good shape though. You would think he's like, his body's kind of like like who? Not a bodybuilder, but I would say I don't know, but it's a very good body. It's muscular, it's jacked. He's got nice pecs. Like he's got a model's body basically. Like you would have this guy on a magazine or something.
Yeah, dude.
You would have him on a magazine as a model for like healthy eating or whatever, right? Yeah, and he does not eat. He does not eat. He's gone beyond food now. You could look him up on YouTube. He talks about breatharians and he does not eat, but he works out a lot. So he works out. His body knows what to do. The bacteria in his gut will take in the nitrogen from the air and produce the muscle and maintain it and do whatever is necessary.
That's crazy.
Crazy. So it's when you stop taking the external so much, your internal abilities that are already there begin to activate again. Pretty mind-blowing shit, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a second here.
Sure.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go get a glass of water.
That's crazy. All right, hello. Oh, he's not here. I'm gonna keep looking up more photos of these and videos.
So some of the perks for this type of living, once you transition fully, which I am in the phase, I predict it'll take me another couple of years. You need like 4 hours of sleep. Can you imagine the energy and the time you have on your hands? Because you're not digesting food anymore.
Dude, you'd be like a superhuman by then.
Basically, I mean,
you'd just be like a superhuman working machine. Yeah.
Basically, essentially, that's what this is all about, folks. See this? That's the part of the ascension. It's part of the ascension, These guys keep ascending, and we do the same. So that is my answer to your question. How is the fasting? Was that a satisfactory answer?
That was more than satisfactory. Yes, that was very good.
Okay, well. All right, so
man. I should try this, man. I should really try this.
Transition into it, Gail? Transition. Wherever you're at right now, just like I said, transition into it bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. Master the two meals a day.
So you're saying you said I was gonna feel shit at first? So how long would that take?
I don't know. The younger you are, the better, because it means you have less toxins inside your body. So you're a pretty young guy. It may not take as long.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the watchers here are definitely in their late teens, early 20s. So it should not take too much for us young folks. This is a great discovery for us at young age. I'm 27, so I it's, you know what I mean, there isn't too much toxicity in me. It's not excessive, like somebody is going to do this in their 40s. Oh boy, oh, it's going to take some time, you know. You're 18, so it should not be too much of a hassle. And if you have been eating generally healthy, generally, whatever health is considered generally, it should not take too long. Okay, and I know you're a big businessman, so the time and the energy you will have, oh my God.
Dude, I just
Oh my
imagine
God.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, like see, you're a businessman, so for you, oh, once you master this, like just even eating every other day, forget about breatharianism and all that. That's advanced shit that takes many, many, many years. It's a long journey. You know, even for me at eating every other day, I don't think it'll be anything less than 2, 3 years for me to be like, okay, I am done with food, you know? So that's years, but even just if you can transition within the next year to eating every other day, you're gonna have a lot of energy and time on your hands, man. A lot of energy and time. Okay, you'll still need sleep, 6 hours probably. You'll need around 6 hours. Okay, 6, 7 hours, but the times you're awake, there's clarity.
So
No fatigue.
how
It's
come like you'll get less sleep, but then you'll be more energized? Is there like a reason for that?
of course because your body is not most half of your energy goes towards digesting food.
Oh my, I was thinking of that. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes
half
sense.
your energy goes towards digesting food. Take
So
that half.
what would you say that we do need then? I'm assuming water.
Water. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Some people go beyond water also. Okay, that's for super advanced folks. They go beyond water. Uh, but water definitely daily thing. Daily thing. Absolutely daily thing. You know what happens when you eat? Oh my God, the food tastes so good. Like it's when you eat every day, you're desensitized. You're not even sensitive to the taste.
I gotta try. You know what? Yeah, I'll try it. I'll try it for
Try it.
sure.
Man.
I'll
Yeah,
try
yeah.
it.
Just once you set the
Cause like
intention.
if you think about it, it's actually practical too. You'll have less grocery expenses, so it
Oh
does make
yeah.
sense.
Oh yeah. Your expenses
That
will go
makes a lot
down.
of sense.
The time and the energy for planning your day around food and what am I gonna eat? Oh, that's all energy that can go into higher pursuits.
Dude, for a year, I've been cooking my own food, and it's just like it gets tiring because now I had to cook that food at like 7 o'clock, and then actually fully digest the entire plate by 8 o'clock, and then so I had to sleep at around 11, 12.
And a big part of the motivation for me initially to just eat fruits is I don't want to like I've always found cooking to be a hassle. I got more important things here. I want to meditate. I've got to unlock these cities, these spiritual powers.
Mm-hmm.
I've got more important things, and I've always just didn't want to cook, and I always tended towards foods that are ready, but not like fast food. And fruits just kind of made sense for me. It still makes sense. Like just pick it up, eat it, it's done. You know.
Exactly.
So yeah, so it's just the amount of energy in preparation and all that.
Kind
Wow,
of drains it a little bit.
it drains
Just
you. It really does, and just you'll think about like you'll base your day around it. Oh, I'm done work. Let me go to the grocery store now. you know and so you go in the grocery store, you're planning and this and that, and you go back home and it's like an hour of cooking. It's a lot of energy. You could go into higher pursuits, you know what I mean, and I know for you it's business. So now my question to you, my friend Gail, to switch off the gears a little bit and give you some chance to talk, because I'm supposed to be a host here, an narcissistic host that's talking.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I enjoy listening. But
yeah.
we can talk about college,
What's
as
that?
we can talk about college for
College,
the for
yes.
the
Yeah.
last just to finish off the last podcast, and restart it. Because the
Yeah.
last podcast I wasn't really too loud on it, and like you said, I was distracted. So I think we should talk about college again.
Okay, okay. So you're pretty much you're gonna finish your grade 12 and then you're doing your thing.
Next, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Next week is all my exams, all my senior exams, and after next week, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with school. And
That's it.
fortunately, I'm not going to college, and you'd be surprised because my parents are not only they're not only Asian, but like they're the stereotypical Asian parents. They're strict. But fortunately, I'm able to stay home and then actually take care of the siblings instead, and that'd be like a reason for me not to go to college. So, and you know what? That's a good enough reason for me to just stay and then focus on my business.
Yeah. So how? Okay. The obvious question is, if I was in grade 12 right now and I was going to make the decision not to go to college, how do you get over all the expectations from society and all the expectations from parents and culture not to do what everyone else is doing?
See, I think I think if you don't want to, if you're trying to not care about other people's expectations, uh, the simplest way is just to focus on what you want to do. And it doesn't matter what age you are, you can find out what you want to do. I always find out that like these kids have to go through college to find out what they want to do. But like you can find that out. You can find that out right now if you wanted to. And there's even like charts. There's even charts online, and I don't know what you call it, but like I don't know, like notebook methods on telling you how to find out what your passion is, especially if it's related to making money. And yeah, I mean, that's the simplest way I can think of. It's just to follow what you're passionate about. And the only reason to go to college is to be in the STEM field, so like science, medical, engineering, uh, those things. Those college degrees are needed. But other than that, like college is useless. Like you don't need a
Yeah.
degree for most of the things you're learning, and I'm sure it's apparent for most of you guys that in high school, like most of the shit you you learn is not really useful, and I'm sure you're gonna find that out. You're gonna find that out real quick once you get in the real world, especially algebra two. What do I need algebra two for? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the amount of useless shit that I learned over the years, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like even as an engineer, when I worked a year as an engineer, I did
mhm,
not use 98% of everything that I learned. And almost anybody could have done my job if they're just trained for it. You could take
exactly.
anybody from anywhere because I didn't use too much of what I learned. I just learned whatever the training was for the job. And you could take anybody, you could take you and do what I did for a year as an engineer just by training you how to do it. Because you're using very little of what you actually learned in 4 or 5 years.
hmm
So, but how do people? How do I mean? You know your passion, man. How do you find your passion at such a young age? I didn't know. I didn't know what it was at your age.
I I just I had to think about this, man. I don't know. This is just I okay. I think an easier way to find out is to find out what you don't like, what you don't like, and
Huh?
then you switch that around, and I kind of narrowed down the path for me, and now I found out that maybe I want to do no, I want to do relationship coaching, and I want to do marketing and online businesses. So I think those things I've been passionate about. Just before this podcast, I was just working on my online business on selling e-commerce stuff. Um, and there's this business model called drop shipping. And I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with this. I'm sure even you, Saeed, you're
Yeah.
familiar with this. A lot of
Yeah.
people are familiar with this, and it's getting more popular as the year go by. So And I really like this business model because not only can I work from home, but I can spend time with my family and friends, and yeah, just have a more fulfilling life and more freedom. Yeah,
And like just you're more buzzing, like you're more joyful.
exactly,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's what life is really about. Nobody
yeah.
wants to be sad. Everybody has one goal in mind, and that's the goal of being happy.
Pleasure is the law. So you know, often when people hear, for example, about like, oh, you're giving up eating, like you're eating every other day. How could you? You're gonna give up eating altogether. It's like, no, no, no. Hold on. I'm a creature of pleasure, just like you. We're all creatures of pleasure.
Hmm.
There's a higher pleasure that's keeping me away from the lower pleasure that continuously pulls me to it. We're all creatures of pleasure. It's all about joy and fun.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
it's
it,
all about fun.
and in pursuit of your like your passions, there's nothing. There's like another thing I tell you guys. There's like a lot of like it's a lot of factors I think, like because like personal development is one of them too. I feel like personally, whenever you're trying to find out what your goal is, personal development is one of them. You need to look inside yourself and also learn how to be one in like solitude and be more grateful for things and just I don't I just it's just personal development and finding out like practically on paper like what it is that you like and do not like.
So, you know, you brought something interesting, the method of negation, which is finding what you don't like.
Yes.
Okay, so two things here. This is actually a really powerful method. And I've been thinking about it lately, and it's funny you mentioned it. So I was listening to like a talk on Vedanta. Vedanta is this Hindu philosophy. It's about getting to the true self, the real self, Atman, consciousness. And the way they do it is they look at anything that is not God, that is not consciousness. So they'll say this is not, it is not. So they'll look at you look at your thoughts. You'll say my thoughts is not who I am. Then you look at your body and you say I am not my body. I'm not my flesh. I'm not my hands. I'm not my organs. I'm not my breath. I'm not my thoughts. And this is a meditation. It's called Who Am I? It's very, very popular. Until eventually in your meditation, you come to experience who you are without labels. But first, you have to say who you're not, because you're under the impression that you're your thoughts or your body. And the other thing, this is now again back to the food thing. Today, I got a bunch of fruits today. Okay, I got raspberries,
Okay.
strawberries, blueberries, grapes, and I'm waiting for the bananas to ripen, so I don't eat bananas. I got a melon, honeydew melon, and dried figs. And I sat down and I ate every single one of them. And I tasted it. Strawberries too, if I didn't mention. I tasted everything. I tasted it. The taste buds are so enhanced.
Hmm.
And then I kept tasting, eating. Oh, I got mangoes too. And then,
Oh, mangoes.
yeah,
So
mangoes,
good.
exactly. So exactly, that's same thing. Then I realized, out of everything I ate today, two things stood out the most for me: mangoes and dried figs. Okay, everything else was cool. I liked it, but I used the method of negation. I ate strawberries, I enjoyed them. Then I said, not this. Because I'm trying to even shorten my list for food. I want to eat only foods that give me the maximum amount of pleasure. Since I'm eating every other day and the quantities aren't big, when I want to have this experience, I want to eat foods that give me the maximum pleasure for my taste sensations. Okay? So I ate the strawberries, enjoyed them, said, not this. I ate the
Mhm.
blueberries, enjoyed them, not this. Raspberries, enjoyed them, tasted them, not this. Mangoes, oh, this. Oh, I'll be back. Okay, I'll be back. Right? Because they were sweet and ripe. Oh, I'll be back. Uh,
And I gotta eat some mangoes right now.
yeah, yeah. Ate the honeydew melons, good, but not this. Ate the dried figs, oh my God. I got these organic dried figs from Turkey. Wow, okay? So now, and I got the bananas because I love bananas. So now, 2 days from now, when I eat, very simple food. I picked out the best things that I want by the method of negation. You see? So my next meal is going to be mangoes, bananas, dried figs. That's it. I sit down, maximum pleasure. I got the emotional, I know I don't need the food anymore, and I'm slowly breaking up with it. So I'm eating, I might as well eat something that I really, really, really enjoy. So this is a powerful method, actually, the method of negation.
Oh, and it's another thing when you're trying to pursue success. Definitely, there's this thing called, what do you call it? It's something with. I know, it's a really good one. Most millionaires and billionaires follow. It's a good principle. Actually, all of them follow, and it's hey, what do you call that? Like when you achieve success, like what would you call that? Like
when you achieve success,
or dopamine. Okay, like let's say like dopamine. Like you. Okay, what do you call it? I have a total brain fart right now. I'm sorry. I like it's like with you're withholding like the reward from yourself, and then like like you said, for example, like 2 days later you eat that banana as opposed to right now. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification. That's a very good principle. It's a basic principle and essential principle that anyone.
I think for all pursuits, like I said, with fasting, in the beginning you're gonna feel like a bag of shit. You're delaying the gratification until later, until the bigger gratification. It's the same thing with success in business or any other realm, really.
Mm-hmm.
Delay the gratification, get through the unpleasantness, and then there is something more pleasant on the other side.
Exactly. And right now, yeah, and like right now with my business, I'm not really the most experienced advertiser, but I know within a couple months, I'm going to be doing very well with advertising. And after that, boom, sales, easy peasy, So like delayed gratification, and once I become experienced with it, then I can just move on to another business model.
Nice. And right now, what are you exactly focused on? So now, obviously, you're not going to college, but you are doing something. What is it right now that is your main focus?
So the thing with businesses is that you need capital, and to make more money, you need money. Fortunately, with the dropshipping business model, you don't need a lot of capital for it. And yeah, I'm going to start work next month so that I can use the capital from work to put more into business. So again, like dropshipping is a low barrier. There's a low barrier to this business model. However, the competition's high, as you can tell, as evident by the fact that it's getting more popular. You can go on Google Analytics and search this up. It's getting popular and popular.
So okay, to put this in a practical sense for anyone that is in your shoe but interested in doing something.
Get a job.
Yeah, get a job. Okay, there you go. Get a job.
If you already have money, then use that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So for most people, it will be get a job.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So you wanna be able to fund whatever you're working on, because even a low barrier thing requires money. Like you need money to run the website.
So, okay, let's say with drop shipping, you'll need for our one website, you'll need $500 for this first month to start off with. Okay, because you're going to be running the Shopify plan, the apps for Shopify, and then the Facebook marketing. The Facebook marketing and the Instagram marketing is the most expensive part, because how else are you going to get your product out there to the customers? So
right.
And time is money. So like you're gonna need capital to get your product out to the people. Otherwise, if you do it for free, it's gonna take a lot of time to advertise that.
Yeah, and the other thing is you live with your parents right now.
Yes.
With your family, right? It's not a bad idea. People feel like, oh, I gotta get out, I gotta go on my own. it's not such a bad idea. It
It's
really
not.
isn't. It's a
And
huge
people have
saver.
a lot more opportunities than they think they do, because honestly, like it may seem like the only option that you have is to live with your parents, but if you're really if you have friends, you guys can all move in and find the cheapest apartment in your area. You guys split the bill, easy,
Yeah, easy.
easy.
Yeah, easy peasy. You're right. You might have to work a little bit more, like if you have a part-time job or something,
You can't
maybe.
just manifest this stuff out. You have
Yeah,
to work, but
like you have
it's
to
a
work.
possible.
So you really do. From my experience, also, there were times where I didn't work at all, nothing, and I wasn't making any money online, and I ended up borrowing money from friends and stuff, good, like significant amounts. And now, if I went back, I would have just simply like worked it 2 or 3 times a week, and I would have been fine. You know what I mean? It's not that bad. It really isn't. You do what you gotta do until you don't gotta do it no more. I was just doing.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just doing Uber. Before that, I was working in a coffee shop. I'm not doing these things anymore because now I'm making money online. However, even up until recently, I was doing them. And you've got to do what you got to do. As long as you have a plan and you're pursuing it and it's
Exactly.
in work, in progress, you got nothing to worry about. It'll work out sooner or later.
And see, now here's another thing. If you do not have okay, and this is really important. Do not drop out of college if you do not have discipline, okay? I can drop out of college because I know I have showed examples of discipline. But if you have not showed examples of discipline, say in a classroom setting, you can't drop out of college. College, you can go there. You have to go there so that they can teach you discipline. And what discipline is basically it's just you grinding through the work without nobody's motivation. Okay? You see, here's the funny thing: like the motivational videos you see online, they're like it's kind of a business model. That's kind of a business model, and basically how that works is that they give people motivation, but it doesn't really. But then, like, if you think about it, like a couple days later, it's not going to really affect you anymore. The dopamine you got from that motivational video, it doesn't help out. So
Well,
what you do need is discipline, not motivation, discipline, your own self.
you could either give fish to somebody hungry or you could teach them how to fish.
That's a good quote.
Yeah, so the motivation is giving someone fish to eat because they're hungry.
Mm-hmm.
The discipline is basically you know how to fish now.
Yes.
It's true, man, because if you got discipline, you can do anything. You really can. Who's stopping you? You can literally do anything because if you got discipline to, build your online business, the discipline is there. It's no problem. If you want to achieve supernatural powers, have city spiritual powers, have discipline to meditate. You know what I mean? So you really do whatever you want, literally, from supernatural stuff to just practical stuff in the real life, like making money or whatever. Do anything with discipline.
Exactly, I agree.
Literally nothing stopping you. That is the fishing rod. You know how to fish.
Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, but if you're pursuing any like standard, field job such as engineer or I don't know about engineer, but like definitely like a doctor or a veterinarian, definitely get a degree from a college year. But if you're not feeling the academic setting, then you definitely don't want to go to college.
Yeah, and for anybody who wants to be a doctor, also you could pursue alternative. Like you could go into naturopath, and you don't even have to go to college for that. There are schools that teach naturopath.
I didn't even think about that. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so even that, you don't really need to go to college for doctor no more because they'll teach you how to be a drug dealer coming from someone whose dad is a medical doctor. My dad is a notorious drug dealer.
Notorious drug dealer.
Notorious drug dealer. Yes, he's the OG. He's a biggie. Okay, he's a notorious drug dealer. Okay, MDs that are trained in the modern system, are drug dealers. So even then, consider if you want to help people that way, there are alternative ways. You know, school, yes, of course you need to learn this stuff. You need to learn the theory of nutrition and the theory of disease and all that. But I'm saying even that there are alternative colleges and schools to teach you that.
Exactly.
Right? And I don't know about engineering, but you know, if you want to work for, I guess, a big engineering company, yeah, you need an engineering degree from an actual company. But I'm pretty sure in this day and age, there's lots of alternative ways to go about things.
And you know, even if you guys aren't that sure, the best thing I can definitely tell you though is research, research, and research. I
Mm.
found a lot of material, and all these materials I can read, and I don't like you just research, you know, and the material you find, trust yourself. Just trust yourself. I don't know if that makes any sense, but let me see if I have some research notes here for
Trust that
college.
you're guided, right? Trust that you're
Yes,
guided.
and
Yeah,
that's what
trust.
I've been doing. A lot of people are like, "What? You're not going to college?" Like, and like,
Yeah.
I honestly don't give two shits. All right, let me show. Let me see if okay, college tobacco. All right, so I'm just gonna. Is it cool if I just read off like some research I found?
Knock yourself out, brother.
All right, so did you guys know that in 1971 the average house was worth $24,000? Well, guess what today is? Today, it's worth $281,000. The average house. It's doubled 12 times. In 1971, the average income was $10,000. Now the average income is $53,000. Now keep this in mind. It's only doubled 5 times. Okay. The average cost for a private university was $1,800. Today, it's worth $31,000, doubled 17 times. 17 times. So think about that. Your income is only doubled 5 times, but everything else is double digits.
Wow. So the middle class is dwindling basically. It's shrinking. And
Exactly. And exactly. Like the reason why the people in college were so successful back then is because those people in college were from the upper class. You know? Nowadays, everybody's got to go to college. But who are these people that's going to college nowadays? Well, it's people from the lower class, the middle class, and sometimes the upper middle class. You know? But like these people can't afford it. Maybe except for the upper middle class. But like the middle class and lower class, they can't afford to go to college. So it's like you might as well go to a community college or just don't go to college. Now let me see if there's some other materials here. Okay. All right. This is worse than Apple's. The creator of iPhone. So like this is worse than Apple's markups. Okay. All right. The average cost of book creation. Okay, $6. All right. The average cost of one book in the college, $200. Okay.
Jesus.
This is ridiculous. Okay. Wait. Hold on. I'm not. Wait. Average cost. Okay. And now the average cost of books per student is $1,200. And now you compare that to Apple. That's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Wow, man, what a scam, eh? College is
Biggest scam.
a scam.
Biggest
Wow.
And you know what? There's an entrepreneur that even goes in depth about this. There's so many channels out there here, and I can just say it. I forgot this isn't Skype, so I can't type or anything. But there YouTube channels such as Valuetainment and I think the Red Pill as well. Valuetainment and I think Coach Red Pill is the YouTube channel name. But both of them, they go in depth research on this topic of college. 30 minutes and more. And it's more than the video too. And see, so
okay, it's called the biggest scam in America.
Exactly. Yes.
So for anybody who's interested to watch the video, just look up the biggest scam in America. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
Okay, and so even if you're not going to college for the academics, okay, you're going to college for the parties. You're going to college for the networking. Well, who's to say that you can't do all that stuff outside of college? Technically, I'm already doing that right now. You know, you don't need to go to college to network, or you don't need to go to college.
And there's an app, Meetup. You know,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I never used it, but my friend used it, still uses it, and he's met so many friends, and he's done like he went to hiking, met people in hiking groups, met people in like learning Spanish groups, dancing. If you like dancing, there's Meetup. There's a bazillion ways to meet people.
Exactly. If you do,
so it is a scam.
it is.
Scam.
Let me see. And I think what grants. I think what grants is, if people keeps I know it's in one of the YouTube videos, but I know that if one of the states keep giving grants, if the states keep giving grants, it's causing the college tuition to go up because of these grants. Let's see here. Okay, and let's see here. So, yeah, I just think that college it trains followers, not leaders, you know, and it's evident by the fact that I'm sure you guys have already seen photos of like, this was a classroom picture of the 1920s. This is a classroom pictures of now. Same thing, you know. I'm sure you guys have seen pictures of that, and it's true. So is the teaching methods. The teaching methods are the same. But yeah, I mean that's my take on that. That's my take on colleges.
That's good, man. That's good. I'm sure lots of people, because I know lots of people that watch this channel are basically your age. You know, they're grade 12. I know actually quite a few people. They're grade 12, and because I get a lot of questions, you know, should I go to college? And I always say, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know you. I don't know your circumstances. I don't know what your level at. Like, if you came and asked me and I got to know you, I would say, of course, you already know that you don't need to go to college, because I see you have discipline, you have this, you have done your research. It's tough, but I think it's easier now for somebody to say, I'm not going to college, as opposed to me 10 years ago when I didn't have the internet, when I didn't have people like Value Entertainment tell me, show me that this is a scam. Perhaps it would have gone in a different way. It probably will have gone a different way. But folks, if you've listened, you know, use the method of negation, or first of all, figure out what you don't like, and that'll narrow it down, and have discipline.
Exactly.
Have discipline so you know how to fish.
And so to summarize, like he says, to add on, so like if you don't want to go to college, you do need things, okay? You need one, plan A and a plan B, perhaps even a plan C. I have 3 of those. So, and then 2, okay? Discipline. You need discipline, all right? And then number 3, invest. Find ways to make capital. So, for example, I'm already doing that with the Shopify business model, or the drop shipping business model. And those are the 3 things that. Well, the 4th thing, research. You definitely research, and then see what your intentions are. Definitely your intentions. Do not drop out of college just because you want to look cool. You want to have, on your Instagram page. You don't want to, you don't want to be focused on the likes and like the followers you have on your Instagram page, and you can't just put entrepreneur in your Instagram bio, like, unless you've actually created a business. The intention is what matters too. But those are the 5 things.
Lots of people doing that. Entrepreneur.
Exactly. And that Alex Becker, he's a multi-millionaire entrepreneur, and he's opened my eyes to that. He's told me that, no, not personally, but he's told me that basically people entrepreneurs do things for the wrong reasons, you know. And unfortunately, I wasn't doing things for the wrong reasons. And yeah, it's just make sure not to do things for other people. Do it for yourself, or to serve other people.
And staying with your parents is not the worst idea, is it?
No, it's really not. It's kind of comfortable. I mean,
Yeah,
depends on who your parents are.
it's true. They might be nagging you a lot, right? If your parents nag you a lot and say, "Well, what are you doing? Go to college." Then you, like you said, just get a place with your friends and stay for, pitch
Exactly.
in, and it's not that expensive.
Exactly. But like, if you're some things like if your parents or your siblings are bothering you, like they're not necessarily nagging you about going to college, but like if they're telling you to clean up and like do house chores, you better do it. Like
You
you're
better
saying
do it.
that.
Oh yeah. Oh, you should contribute. Absolutely.
Because it's a better alternative than actually going to college. So if you really think about that, at least you're gonna get to stay home and work on your business and doing house chores as opposed to going to college. So
You'll save a lot of money on food, on rent. And if you take up the fasting too, like there you go. Boom.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah,
that's
boom.
a lot of money right there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just the energy unlocks, and go for walks, find a nearby nature hiking route, go hang out there, come back, do whatever. Oh man, honestly, like kids, stay with your parents. It's not a bad idea. Just work on something. Don't just stay around like, wake up at 12 p.m. and no, not that. Okay. No,
Please, for the love of God,
do something.
just exactly. Just and another thing, I don't know how well developed most of you guys are, but definitely there's this thing called Death by 1,000 Cuts by this entrepreneur I watched. His name is Sam Ovens. Basically, what 1,000 Cuts is, don't get distracted by. You're gonna get basically what the concept is you're getting distracted by many little things, like something that could take like a minute or 30 seconds. Well, thousands of that happens thousands of times to you, every day. So if you add all that up, that could take like hours of your time. Like I don't know. Let me put this into example.
Checking your phone, right? Like, Facebook,
that definitely. Video games can too. Personally, I don't have a problem with video games as long as you can control when you play the game, when you play the video games, right? So, see, I have my Xbox right in front of me. I literally haven't played it this whole week. I haven't played it this. I've only played it like twice this month, once or twice this month, and it's like May 17th now. So I haven't played as compared to last year. I've improved very well. I haven't played a lot of Xbox games, so it's a huge improvement when I was learning these concepts. And I don't know, cleaning up your, I don't know, like cleaning up like little things. That could take up your time too.
Keep your room clean. You keep your body clean. You keep everything clean and neat and tidy. Makes a difference.
I mean, my room's a little dirty right now, but it's I'll clean it up later. But basically, that's what I'm saying though. But basically, you could waste a lot of time just doing all these little things, and hopefully, you guys understand. You guys can please just watch that video. It's by Sam Ovens, Death by 1,000 Cuts. Especially for you guys that's going to be entrepreneurs and not going to college, definitely learn about that concept.
And look up the biggest scam in America on YouTube. You'll see it's the first video. I haven't watched it, but I got a feeling it's a good one.
It's very good. It's a very good video. You'll like it, Sayed.
Yeah, man. Well, that was a blast, eh?
That was great, man.
Honestly, man, I give the little kids when I teach them high five. So here, high five. And I say, good job. So good job. Good job.
Man. That was awesome.
Right on. Well, okay, Gail, I will have you again soon. You know that you're a recurring guest, so
Mhm.
I'll have you soon as well. And
Mhm.
obviously, we'll keep our talks as well in between.
Yes.
Okay, brother.
Are we talking next Friday?
Yeah, 2 weeks. Do 2 weeks from now.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, two weeks. So let's set the intention, not this coming Friday, but the next one.
Okay.
I'll put it on my calendar. If there is any change on your part or my part, we'll let
And
you know.
6 p.m. 6 p.m.
Okay, man. Sounds good. I'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Okay.
I said, awesome podcast.
Okay,
You guys
brother.
have
Okay.
you guys have a beautiful day. And you
Blessings.
have a beautiful
Everybody,
day.
blessings. Take care, brother. Take care.
Brother.